Hi, this is Willie from the Viper staking team, and this video is to walk through how to read the plots for our Cardano staking report that we publish every epoch. So starting at the top here, this particular report is for epoch 235. It runs from December 11th through December 16th, 2020. Staking rewards for this epoch are based on the snapshot that occurred at the beginning of the previous epoch. So in this instance, rewards that you get in epoch 235 are based on where your stake was at the beginning of epoch 234. In this instance, that would be on December 6th. Moving down here, the decentralization percentage shows the proportion of blocks that are made by stake pools as opposed to made by Genesis pools that are run by the Cardano protocol. These Genesis pools don't have delegators, they don't pay out rewards. So at the beginning of mainnet, these Genesis pools made 100% of the blocks, and now this has been being slowly handed off to private stake pool operators. This typically increases about 2% every epoch. It's currently on a freeze for the holidays, so the percentage won't be increasing until January 2021. Moving over to the K parameter, this recently increased as of epoch 234, actually from 150 to 500, and this value dictates the saturation point of a pool. So a pool can only pay out staking rewards up to the saturation point. Any stake that is over that amount in a pool do not contribute to any rewards at all. So if you were staked in a pool that is saturated, your rewards are going to be reduced. So the saturation point is calculated based on the total ADA supply, which is currently about 32 billion, divided by the K value. So if we divide 32 billion by 500, we get 64 million. That is the current saturation point. So if you are currently staked in a pool with more than 64 million ADA, you should look for a different pool. Okay, moving down to the history section, the total active stake shows how the amount of total staked ADA across all pools has changed throughout the epochs. The y-axis here is in billions of ADA. Moving down to active pools, this is the number of registered stake pools that have non-zero stake across each epoch. This saturated pools plot shows the number of pools that are over the saturated stake. So we can see at epoch 234 is when the K value increased to 500, and this caused a lot of pools that were previously unsaturated to become saturated. And this oversaturated stake value here is the amount of stake that is over saturation across all those pools. So there's currently 1.7 billion ADA that needs to move out of these pools. This ADA is not contributing to any rewards, and anyone staked in these pools are getting reduced rewards. Moving down to the epoch details section, this plot shows the number of stake pools that are expected to make a given number of blocks this epoch. So the y-axis here is in a logarithmic scale, and this is just based on the huge variation in values in this plot. So we can see there are 759 pools expected to make 0 blocks this epoch. This does not mean that none of these pools will make blocks. It just means on average over the long term, these pools are expected to make 0 blocks in an epoch. So the way to read this log scale plot is you can see there's 3 sections of tick marks here, and these go up by orders of magnitude. So this first section of ticks here, we can read it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. Then the next section are hundreds. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And then finally we'll have 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, 1000. So a logarithmic scale just allows you to show a huge range of data while still having resolution to separate, say 3 from 4, while also seeing 87 versus 759. So it's a little confusing the first time you see it, but it's a very helpful way to display data. Moving down to stake migration, this shows how stake has moved between stake pools since the last epoch. So negative values here shown in red shows stake that has left a pool, and values shown in yellow that are positive is stake that has entered a pool. The x-axis is the total stake in each pool in millions. On the y-axis, we have the stake change in millions of ADA. Moving down to effective stake versus variable fee. So effective stake means stake that contributes to rewards. So this is stake that is not saturated. And this plot shows stake pools' variable fee as a function of their total stake. This plot does not show private pools that have their fees around 100%. I clipped this to 20% to show public pools so we get a little more fidelity in how these low fees vary. Since the scale is effective stake, we clip the x-axis here at 66 million, which is the saturation point. Moving down to effective stake versus ROS, this shows the return on stake, which is an annualized return you can expect to make on your staked ADA across a year. So again, the x-axis here is in total stake in the pool. The y-axis here shows the return on stake calculated over the lifetime of the pools. So if you look on the left-hand side here, we can see a huge variability in small pools. Some are extremely low percentage, down to 0, and some have a very high ROS. This is just because these pools are so small that they haven't had enough time for their luck to average out. So as these pools are around longer and make more blocks, we can expect these dots to converge toward this line about 5% that we see larger pools converging to. So over time as a delegator, you won't see much difference in your return on stake, if you're in a small pool or a large pool. The variance is higher in a small pool, so you'll have, you can have a series of very lucky epics and a run of bad epics, but over the long term, your rewards will average out. As long as a pool is making its blocks and has similar fees, it doesn't matter how big it is as far as your rewards. And finally here, this plot shows effective stake versus lifetime blocks. So this shows the total blocks each pool has made over its entire lifetime as a function of its current stake. And again, this is in a log scale. So if we read the y-axis here, 10 to the 0 is 1. So this is 1 block, 10 to the 1 is 10, 10 to the 2 is 100, 10 to the 3 is 1,000. You can follow these faint lines across and see how this has changed. So what we can see here are pools that have made, say this one here, over 1,000 blocks, and it's under 20 million ADA. This is a pool that is certainly was much larger at one point and has lost stake. So I hope this video helps you parse these plots and get some good information out of these reports we put out every epic. Look in the notes for this video. We'll have links to our Twitter, our Telegram, our email. Please reach out to us. Tell us if you have any questions, suggestions. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.